Hi everyone and welcome to the new episode. We're starting this week in Marrakesh and we've just come back from an incredible day in the Atlas Mountains, and I think you can probably just see them in the background behind me. So with GT, our partners, we have been supporting the school at Talatast since 2019, and we're now building a new school, so it has been such a great day. So before we start on all the stuff that's happening with the cars, I'm going to take you with us on our journey to Talatast. Leaving Marrakesh on the road to Ouarzazate, we head southeast into the Atlas Mountains, followed by the British ambassador in his discovery. On the trip, we discover that one of our travelling companions also has a background with Land Rovers, so that was a fun conversation. And on approach to Talatast, we pass the little town of Tigodine, which seems to be absolutely full of defenders. We then have to cross over the Oued before climbing up the dusty road to the village of Talatast itself. It's always an exciting journey, and there's a sort of little flutter of anticipation as we approach the village, which we've been to several times before. It was also amazing to see the snow on the high Atlas in the background. On arriving at the village, we started off with a visit to the existing school, where it was emotional to meet Halima, the teacher, Khalid, the second educator, and all the children, whom we've met many times before. Naturally, there were also speeches from this gentleman, who's the chief of the village, and Simon, the British ambassador to Morocco. Then we all walked through the village to the site of the new school construction, where we were delighted to unveil a plaque to mark the start of the building.
Complètement ouvert. Et c'est peut-être pour les femmes qui fait le cours. Pour les femmes, voilà. Pour le premier étage, fait pour les femmes.
The walls of the building are being made using the traditional Adobe construction method.
I think you should go up there, Hannah. Do you? In the hat?
I can go up there if you want, but... And Talatast stole my heart. And thanks to my rally partners, I've been able to bring extra funding to the village to support this amazing education project, which is just so important to give the children a good foundation for the rest of their lives. Wow.
Yeah, let's push the boat out.
Traditional music and dance is an important part of any Moroccan celebration, and this is no exception. Of course, sooner or later, we all get dragged in. After an incredible day, which was truly emotional, we all head back down the mountain to the waiting cars and back to Marrakesh. Our next stop couldn't have been more of a contrast from that tiny mountain village as we headed into the bustle of the city of Casablanca. Here we attended a fundraising dinner hosted by the British Moroccan Society and Casa expats to raise additional funds for the school project, While GT have been a principal partner for the building of the actual school, there are still additional funds needed to kit the school out and get it running ready for the new school year. We were delighted to be joined at the dinner by delegates from Panorama, who are GT's distributors in Morocco. Leaving Casablanca, we took the train back to Marrakesh and ultimately onto the airport, where we flew back to the UK to meet up with Purdey. Arriving at Gatwick was a bit of a shock to the senses as far as the temperature went, and Chris had come over from France with Lulu dragging the trailer so that we could pick up Purdey, and we were so excited to see Purdey for the first time at Blue Lizard Signs and have a look at the amazing work that they'd done to bring the concept that we thought up about a year ago to life. I'm not going to lie, it's been a stressful few days, well, about a week actually, getting all the details into this wrap. But it was definitely worth it because it is just stunning. From the flaky paint to our signature little mice, we love it. It was also our first chance to see the incredible roll cage built by Safety Devices in person and have a look at the awesome work on the Demand exhaust.
Are you pleased?
I'm not saying anything, you can see.
Right.
This had to be a whole team effort, so Marcella and Darcy came along too to see Priscilla's wrap for the very first time.
Fantastic.
You've got mine. You've got one as well, but it's quite safe, doesn't it?
Yeah, I feel so safe.
Yeah, we have to have a blue lizard. It wouldn't be right without, would it? I'm guessing that he's done this before.
Everything in life is in the hard way is always better. Nothing cannot be easy. Good.
Getting it.
It's just difficult with the steering wheel at the moment.
And especially when you've got a helmet on.
Yeah.
To be fair, you did that quite gracefully.
Wow, they are comfy.
Yeah,
Aren't
good.
they? Really good.
As Purdey doesn't actually run yet, getting her on the trailer to take her home is a bit of a physical effort. But then again, it's good training for the effort that we might have to put in on the rally for doing things. With Purdey safely loaded, we hit the road to the ferry port at New Haven and ultimately for our journey back to France. We're getting used to these early morning starts now as we leave the port in Dieppe and head south towards home. It's about 9:30 in the morning. Just driving home with Purdey, just stopped for a comfort break. Just having a quick check to make sure everything's okay. She does look good, doesn't she? See See if the mice are okay. You okay, little mousicles? Yeah, they're fine. Blinking cold. Little blue lizards having a little smile at people this morning. The last 36 hours have been pretty full on for Chris as he came to the UK, picked Purdey up, and we practically turned around and came straight back again. But we all arrived safely at home, and it was just so lovely to have all my girls back together. Sun's come out while we take the straps off Purdey. Look at the mud she's got to come through though to get into the workshop. Now it takes a bit more physical effort to get her back into her safe little workshop so that we can carry on with getting her ready for the Santana Trophy, which is coming up pretty soon. In fact, we cheat a bit and bring Delilah up to just give her a little push over that last little bit. So just come back from the UK. Obviously Purdey's on the trailer, but we've got a whole load of stuff to unpack. Now this has come from our partners at AlliSport. You'll remember that about this time last year, Andrew stopped here with his Dakar car and sort of started this whole project. So we've got, I'm not going to take these out just yet, we've got some silicone hoses. In fact, mini silicone hoses, which is quite exciting. AlliSport blue, but that's fine because although our colour scheme is red and white, obviously red, white and blue is the Union Jack colours, so we're quite happy to have a bit of blue in. Now everything else is wrapped very carefully in lots and lots and lots of bubble wrap. So I'm just going to whip through and see what we've got here. Okay.
EGR delete.
Ah, right, so that goes with this then.
Yeah, that's all part of the same job.
Yeah, EGR delete kit. Cool. Because we don't need exhaust gas recycling for Purdey. Completely not useful. Okay, now this is a very big thing, and I'm trying to think what we've got that's big. There's two things that I can think of. That's amazing. Look at the packaging in there. All to keep it nice and... So I don't know if you can see that through the bubble wrap. It's got AlliSport cut into the front. Is it the right way up?
It is.
Yeah. So that's going to sit underneath Purdey to protect the steering rod and everything. All of the steering. So my brain's a bit shot today because I'm so tired. But that's pretty cool, isn't it? So yeah, excellent. That's a great bit. With a bit of branding on. Right. This might be a manifold. Now, if it is, the reason we're getting a new manifold for Purdey is because the TD5 manifold has a reputation for warping. So this one should be more durable. But what we want to see here. Yeah, okay, so now looking at this manifold, there's like open space between each of the ports, But on the standard manifold, there's like what they call webs in between there. And it doesn't allow, with the heat, metal expands and contracts as it heats up and cools down. And so what happens is that the manifold is at a risk of cracking. So this should stop the manifold cracking. And we've got nuts and bolts and all sorts of things to go with it. So that's pretty exciting. This mountain is growing bigger. Right, inside here, I think probably when most people think of AlliSport, they think of intercoolers. And hopefully, in here, we have the intercooler. It's kind of mythical, an AlliSport intercooler. So we're pretty chuffed to have one for Purdey. Wow. AlliSport on there with a lifetime warranty. So I just wanted to say why this is important. So obviously the engine has a turbo, and when the turbo spins up, the air gets quite hot. But then when it comes out of the turbo, it needs to go into the inlet manifold and into the combustion chamber, and it works better, it's more efficient if it's cool. So that's effectively what this does. It cools the air down and makes the car more efficient. So good eco point actually. Another little, I need to keep these together so that we know that they live together. So this is a metal, it's rather beautiful. It would replace a hose that goes into the turbo, is that right?
It's, yeah, the boost hose.
Boost hose. And it's metal because the normal hose can flex and make the airflow less efficient. And then we've got some more silicone bits to go with it, with AlliSport on, which is pretty cool. So the last thing in amongst all of this packaging is this header tank, which replaces a bit that I'm pretty sure is black plastic at the moment. But I just want you to look at this weld. Can you get and look at that weld? It's so perfect. It's rather beautiful. So that's the last of the sexy metal things, I think. After a week away, it's nice to come home and see the rest of the fleet all in place. So Priscilla's had her transfer box changed. She's got her new fat rock sliders on, which look good. I haven't driven her yet with the new transfer box in, so that's a little job for later. But yeah, all my girls are here. We get straight into the workshop and back onto Purdey. First of all, we've got some door stays to fit. Make sure that that's all working and that the doors can't over open and stretch the hinges. And then we've got so many things to put back onto her, including this checker plate that came off the wings when we got them. And it just strengthens the wings up if we want to climb up onto Purdey at all. And I think it looks quite cool anyway. It's really great to have Purdey back in the workshop. I've just been cutting out some of these bits of wrap that were over holes, which were left in just to give us an extra protection for the journey home. So we can get on now with the next stage, and with 70 days today until Santana Trophy, we need to get a shuffle on really. So I've got a lot of things to put back. And we've got to take some of this off again to get to the inside, because we've got all of the electrics to connect, everything to connect up and hopefully get her running. So that's all for next week. Thank you for sticking with us on what's been a slightly here and there week with the stuff in Morocco and then getting Purdey back. But I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, as always, we really appreciate a big thumbs up. And if you're able to, please hit the subscribe button so that you stay with us for the rest of the journey. Thank you.